call it to order?
Absolutely. Mayor Joseph,
Here.
Vice Mayor Bieneme,
Yeah.
Councilwoman Keys, Councilman Galvin, Councilman DeZume.
No, that's
Mayor, we
your
have a quorum
CRA.
to proceed.
This is the CRA. Oh, for the mic. Thank you very much. Now let's stand up, please, as we are being led for Pledge of Allegiance.
Good evening. Place your hands across your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, officer.
Thank you.
Now we are asking Commander Angelo Brenton for invocation.
Let's all bow. Father in heaven, we all come before your throne of grace at this time, giving thanks. We thank you for our lives. We thank you for our health and our strength. We thank you for allowing us all to come together tonight to go about the city's business. We hope and pray that everything said and done here will be for the uplifting and betterment of our great city. And now, let us all say amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Commander. At this time, Mr. Manager, is there any amendment, deletion, additions whatsoever you want to make to the agenda before we proceed?
Yes, sir. I'd like to move tab C off of the consent agenda. It needs to be heard as a regular item.
Tab C. All right. Anything else?
That's it, sir.
Didn't you say you were going to remove some did you remove some tab you said you were going to? No?
I was gonna. Well, what we discussed was me moving tab C because that's the
Okay.
CCNA item, and it needs to be public hearing on it.
Can I, Mr. Mayor, can I remove tab E as well? I need some explanation on tab E.
Okay.
Thank you.
Tab C and tab E are being moved from the consent agenda to the regularly discussed agenda, so the people may be heard.
Yes.
No, so you may be heard.
Yeah, I just have some questions on it.
All right. At this time, Mr. Attorney, should we consider the agenda set so we may continue?
Yes, Mayor, the agenda is set. You may proceed.
Thank you. We'll start with some special presentations. I think there are quite a few tonight. We'll go down to where we usually do our special presentations. The first one is a certificate of recognition. Now, let's do the award presentation by is Chief Juriga here? Are you guys gonna go put your hands together for him? This is the highest ranked police officer in the city of North Miami.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mayor. The North Miami Police Department's Officer of the Year for 2018 is Jodlyn Antoine. Jodlyn, if you could join us. Officer Antoine has been with our police department for 15 years, and he's currently assigned to our day shift. Officer Antoine has the wisdom of a veteran and still the drive of a rookie. He has a knack for catching dangerous criminals. This is evidenced by the fact that in 2018, he apprehended 11 felons just by himself, a car thief, 2 burglars, somebody who was two guys that were breaking into homes, as well as 2 armed robbers. And included in those 2 armed robbers was a subject who robbed someone with a gun and another subject who robbed multiple people with a machete. So Officer Antoine took these subjects off the street. And just to give you a little perspective, some officers go through their entire career without apprehending an armed robber, and he did 2 just in 1 year, so it's pretty remarkable. In addition to apprehending violent criminals, Officer Antoine also takes the time to professionally and respectfully work with our community. He knows the importance of good customer service. He engages our residents and our business owners to build their trust and to build partnerships with them. Officer Antoine remains eager to serve and protect our community. He's committed to our department's motto of making a positive impact. And through his actions, Officer Antoine brings peace and safety to the city of North Miami. We're very thankful for him, and please join me in congratulating him.
Well, this is from the entire city council, the full council members, and we joined together to really celebrate this with you, officer. And this is not without thoughts that we actually did this, because I've seen Officer Antoine in action. He doesn't just work as a police officer. This gentleman walks the streets. He talks to kids and people. He goes to funerals, wakes and everything, and he goes to all kinds of social activity, be it the joyful ones, sad ones. He's their community. He's a true leader. And I want you to please put together your hands together once more for Officer Jodelin Antoine. And no, before you, if any of the members want to say a few words on his behalf, I would like to leave this open because of the person that he is. No, but if you want to say a few words, that's fine too. Okay. Okay. All right. This is yours. Congratulations. Now you can go.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. With the Chief of Police, the council members, the mayor, every council member, and all my supervisors for shining a light on me for the work that I do. It's a lot of fun out, doing this type of work for me. A lot of people think it's stressful, which at times it can be, but it's also a lot of fun, and it's a good thing when you're being praised and paid for doing something that you enjoy doing. And once again, I thank you very much, and it's an honor and a pleasure to serve the city of North Miami, and including, I want to continue to make a positive impact as much as I can and do the best I can to do my job. Once again, thank you.
Next, we have Councilman Alex DeZulme with a special presentation as well.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's indeed a pleasure for me to stand before you tonight to congratulate and actually acknowledge one of our local businessmen in this community that we are talking about, none other than Ken Sajor of Chef Creole. If you had not had the pleasure of to have Chef Creole, they right there on 131st and West Dixie Highway, and with a second location almost near North Miami on 119th and 14th Avenue across the street into our area. Oh, they loaded, Mr. Mayor. They got 54th and 2nd. They have a county line. Yes. And then Northwest 2nd, and then they just which one, Madam Keith? Yes, and the most important one, well, to us, I think he is not only the first Haitian American business owner to own, I guess, a piece of the action for Miami-Dade County at the Miami-Dade County International Airport. We are just so proud of him, what he does. If we call up on him to help us out in the community, he's always there, and it's indeed a pleasure for me to congratulate Ken of this honor. Chef Creole, please come up and accept this token on our behalf. No problem. And it reads, the city of North Miami congratulates Wilkin Chef Creole Sejour on becoming the first Haitian American business owner to own a stand at the Miami International Airport and also to do business within the city of North Miami. Thank you for all you do. Thank you. Come on, Pop. Come on, Pop. Yes, hold on before you say something. Okay. I'm sorry, Councilwoman Keys just informed me something that's more important than, yes, most of this. This young man, during the government shutdown, his business was able to feed most of the TSA. 2,000, that's all of them. 2,360 TSA employees at Miami, which received national news from all over, and he's a product of Miami-Dade County, and thank you for all you do in North Miami. Thank you.
It is an honor for me to be here amongst you, everyone. Again, good evening, and thank you so much for recognizing when you're in the restaurant business, it is a tough business. 90%, it has a 90% failure rate. So whenever, you can get a little bit of encouragement, from people that you respect and people that are responsible for a good city, and plus you guys out there, it really helps me to say, let's do it again. So I really appreciate it. I've been in North Miami since 1999. It was our second location, and we're still here today. So it speaks volumes to how much I appreciate the fact that you guys at least tell me thank you and get your butt back in the kitchen and go make us some more money and some customer service. So thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Well, this is my son Kovu. He's named after me, Wilkinson, and he's got some challenges because he has a lot of brothers and sisters that's going to be fighting for the CEO position. But at least he's doing his due diligence. He's hanging out with Daddy, so.
Now we're going to ask the chairman of the Clean City Task Force to please come forth, attorney of the city, for a special presentation. Oh, I forgot to mention, we've been nurturing a very good relationship with Chef Creole, who has been the beneficiary of some of our CRA awards, for the beautification programs that we have, and we do encourage small businesses in the community to please find out what the CRA has to offer in the city of North Miami, because we work very hard. And if you take time and talk to our city manager, our city attorney, and any of us on the city council, for the past couple of years, our CRA has gone through a lot of reconstruction, and we've fought a lot of battles, and finally, we have a firm CRA. We can say we have, 29 more years? 29 more years where we're going to be getting, 28, Anyway, a lot of money that the city of North Miami residents were losing 10, 15, 20 years ago are now coming back for the city of North Miami residents as well as the small businesses, thanks to the local government, the people who actually put their head together and really care about the small businesses and the residents. And to that I say kudos to the council members.
Good evening, everyone. As the mayor said, I'm Jeff Cazzo. My other duty at the city that I do is the Clean City Task Force. Today's unofficially the Clean City Day today. As you'll see through the agenda, it's peppered with a whole bunch of things. One of the things we wanted to do tonight, though, was to recognize 3 businesses that really helped us during our MLK Day of Service. Those businesses are Ace Construction, Ritchie Painting, and you didn't give me the rest of the notes. Built to Last Roofing. Is he it? Okay, there he is. Built to Last Roofing. Without their help, we couldn't have done it. Hopefully everyone caught some of that, and you'll see it later on in the presentations that we do tonight. But we got really good press. The city of North Miami got some really good press on MLK Day. We had tons of people come out and really help someone in the community, and we'll talk a little bit more. Yeah, it was a great event. So, and we have certificates. So if Ace Construction could come up, please. Ace Construction provided in-kind services and materials to rehabilitate the facade, broken and rusted rails in front of and back of the house. They purchased the materials necessary for the services, which was an in-kind donation. Thank you so much. Thank you. We'll take a picture of all 3 of us. And then for Built to Last Roofing, do we have someone here from? Okay, Built to Last Roofing. They repaired the rotten roof on top of the porch and garage area and helped with fix wall cracks on the home's facade and painting of the house on the day of the event. And then Ritchie Painting. Ritchie Painting actually helped us on our the first day of service that we had. This was in October 2018. Ritchie Painting volunteered their time to render painting services to Minnie Sue's home. He helped supervise volunteers the day of the event in October. He pressure washed the house as an in-kind donation to prep for the painting job. Mr. Ritchie supervised volunteers the day of the event and helped paint using his own equipment. So thank you very much.
I think that's it? Yeah. That's it, folks. Okay, any announcement, Ms. Timothy?
Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff, North Miami neighbors, and guests. My name is Cassandra Timothy, the Public Information Officer for the City of North Miami, and it is my pleasure to share some of our upcoming city events, programs, and initiatives. Join the North Miami Community Redevelopment Agency for a groundbreaking ceremony celebrating the Liberty Gardens Park Beautification and Improvement Project on Wednesday, February 13th, beginning at 10 a.m. Improvements include installation of new crushed stone pathway, greenery, lighting, and benches. In collaboration with the North Miami Public Library, Crams Consulting now offers a series of parent workshops designed to empower parents with the skills necessary to guide their children on the road to success. You can attend our next workshop scheduled for Wednesday, February 13th at 6 p.m. at the North Miami Public Library. The Know Me Teen program is offering a chance to create a masterpiece designed by Kehinde Wiley, the artist commissioned to create the famous painting of President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama in honor of Black History Month. Come out and take advantage of these free art classes on Friday, February 15th, beginning at 3 p.m. Also at the library on Saturday, February 16th from 2 p.m., the North Miami Public Library and the Miami Oratorial Society celebrates Black History Month with Spirits 2. This free concert includes gospel, inspirational, and classical choir music directed by Andrew Anderson and feature jazz and gospel performances by Tiffany Hall. The City of North Miami will also hold a public hearing on Thursday, February 21st at 6:30 p.m. regarding the streetscape improvement to Northeast 125th Street between 6th Avenue and 10th Avenue. Improvements include landscaping, crosswalks, and medium. The meeting will take place right here in the council chamber. Earn your high school diploma for free at the NOMI Career Online High School, available through the North Miami Public Library. You can attend our next information session scheduled for Thursday, February 21st at 6 p.m. at the Gwen Margolis Community Center. Need help filing your taxes? The AARP Foundation provides free tax return preparation for low-income and moderate-income taxpayers and seniors at the North Miami Public Library every Thursday from 10:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Assistance will be available through April 15th. The fourth annual Evening of Honor dinner celebration is set for Friday, February 22nd. This once-a-year event is cultivated to honor South Florida's brightest and dedicated community leaders at the Joe Celestine Center. Doors open at 7 p.m. Persons interested in attending may RSVP via Eventbrite. NOMI Fest is the signature Black History Month celebration filled with live music, DJ spinning your favorite hits, great food, and friends gathered under the NOMI stars. On Saturday, February 23rd, beginning at 6 p.m. This year, get set for performances by Tanier, Aziet, Crystal Waters, Shantae Moore, and headliners 112. The fest will be held at Catney Park. Admission is only $10. All money collected will go into the North Miami Emergency Utility Assistance Program to provide monetary utility billing payment relief to North Miami households in needs. Tickets are available at nomifest.com. North Miami's 2019 Black History Month celebration will conclude at the wrap-up, the official NOMI Fest after party at the Mocha Paradise Courtyard. This event will feature performances by your favorite 80s and 90s recording artists. Admission is $15 per person, and tickets are also available on nomifest.com. Join the City of North Miami's Mayor, Dr. Smith Joseph, for the 2019 first quarter luncheon titled Inclusive Prosperity, NOMI in Today's Creative Economy, featuring Dr. Richard Florida, professor at the University of Toronto and visiting fellow of FIU Miami Urban Future Initiative. Tickets are $25 in advance via Eventbrite and $35 at the door. Stay up to date with the latest happening in the City of North Miami by visiting www.northmiamifl.gov and click on the Connect with NOMI icon on the home page where you can sign up to receive our free monthly newsletter. You may also like the City of North Miami on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Timothy. Special presentation by attorney.
Yes, Mayor.
Okay.
I'm going to try to make this short, and then I'm going to be followed by Circle of One Marketing, the firm that helped us put all this stuff together, all the things that you've got in the bag. So first, this is the 1 year anniversary, or actually last month was the 1 year anniversary of us beginning the Clean City Task Force. So tonight is an update on what we've done in the past year and where we're going with the project. First, I'd like to thank the mayor, the city council, the city manager, all my colleagues in the back, the Circle of One Marketing, and our sponsors, and throughout, three of them you heard tonight, Ace Construction, Built to Last Construction, and Ritchie Painting for all their help over the past year. Second, before we get to the presentation, I want to acknowledge that nothing we do as a city will ever substitute for the stakeholders doing their part. Nothing that we're doing is going to substitute for homeowners, business owners, residents, the city departments, and city vendors all have to do their part in the work. Finally, when this presentation concludes, I want everyone to understand that this is hopefully just the beginning. We're not saying this is the solution, but hopefully this will start the conversation to get us to the solution. Collectively, we have to start thinking of keeping the city clean as an investment in the city and not as a cost or as a burden. It's an investment in our community that will pay dividends in the future. So to quickly go through this, am I up? Okay. So again, the Clean City Task Force was started last January. It was organized in response to concerns, and I always say Kenny Each. I got tired of hearing Kenny Each come every meeting talking about how we can clean the city. So I took it on myself to organize the Clean City Task Force, and with the help of everyone, we've been gotten it going over the past year. Really, what we want to do, the objectives is to improve communications with the residents, and you'll see some of that. Improve our resources, the resources that we have to keep the city clean, and make our processes better, and we'll talk a little bit about what that means. And then to really work with supportive partners, Waste Pro, Keep North Miami Beautiful, Drive It Home, the contractors, our vendors, et cetera, to make this a good project for the city. The problem, Chief Juriga wanted me to change that language to the what was it he said? It wasn't the problems, he said our concerns. But I see it as a problem. So I just kept the word problem. But here's the problems. We have overgrown properties and alleyways, trash and litter in the streets. These are some of the pictures of some of the stuff that we've been dealing with. This is all from last month. Illegal dumping throughout the city, and we'll talk a little bit about this, but these tires, and it looks like 50, at least 50 of these, this actually was dumped in the city on the day that we got the Clean City team together, last Monday, I think. And thankfully, we had those folks there to pick this up, because I'm not really sure how we would have dealt with it otherwise. Shopping carts, which we'll talk about, we've made some progress there. Damaged buildings and properties, we've made some unsafe and health concerns on private properties. So what we promised last year was that there'd be better community outreach, there'd be better coordination between the city departments, there'd be better equipment and better processes. And so here's what we've done so far. So immediately when we started last year, the police went around and we moved all the derelict phone booths throughout the city, so you shouldn't see any of those anymore. We passed the shopping cart ordinance. We increased the fee for someone to get their shopping cart back from the city from, I think it was $10 to $25, and we mandated that they put signs and all sorts of things just to make sure that we get those shopping carts off the streets. The Chapter 21 rewrite, we did that. I know Crystal's been going around. We bought that in last year. It didn't get passed. We were asked to go back and do some more community outreach. We've done that. The Chapter 21, what that does is help us improve the tools that we have to enforce. So part of the process that we're asking is that we are doing better communication, better processes. But on the other side, I look at that as the carrot. We need a stick also, and the stick is Chapter 21 and being able to bring things to code enforcement and giving it some teeth. We have an additional street sweeper. The city has two, one that they run all the time, one that's there as a backup, and I think we got a third one that's coming in next month. So we'll have two street sweepers in the city. The Clean City team, as I mentioned, that started last week. Hopefully you've all seen the trucks going around the city with 12 individuals that have gone. And they're kind of like the quick reaction force, so when you get something like 50 tires thrown in somewhere, we can send them out and pick that up. And then homeowner partnership and marketing community event outreach. You've seen some of the materials hopefully already throughout the year, and you'll see some more here tonight. Really quick, the shopping cart ordinance, I asked Whistler to give me just an example of, just take a time period. So in 2017, before we passed the ordinance on the shopping carts, we had $1,030 in fees collected from shopping carts. There were 103 shopping carts collected. In the same period of time, in October of 2018, when we implemented the shopping cart ordinance, there was a total of $1,925 and 77 carts collected. So it looks like we almost doubled the amount of fees that we got, and we reduced the number of shopping carts on the street by 25%. This is the Clean City team addressing illegal dumping. These are the city branded, Clean City branded trucks that you'll see going around. And then these are photographs of the Clean City team doing their work out in the community. And then so more of what we've done so far. One of the things that we did as the city attorney's office, we said, I asked everyone in the city, said, give me the 10 worst properties, code enforcement, building, give me the 10 worst properties, and we examined those, and which properties were ripe for foreclosures, for other action. That's part of the improved processes. So not every property can get a foreclosure, but maybe we take it to unsafe structures. Maybe code fines them so that the fines get high enough that we can do a foreclosure. So we've been working between the departments. Instead of each department working in a silo by itself, we're all working on holistically to try to solve some of these problems. And you'll see this is one example. The address is 885. I think this is up on 9th and 127th. Actually, when someone saw this picture, they said, I think you got the slide wrong. Those are two different homes. They aren't. That's one house. This is one of the homes that after we looked at the 10 worst properties, we went and cited the property, got in touch with the attorney, eventually worked out a deal, and they came in, and over the past year, they cleaned that property up, and it's now for sale. And it's no longer a eyesore in the community, but actually helped up that neighborhood. Code compliance, you know, a lot of the stuff that we're dealing with has to do with code. So code has done a number of things. I'm not going to go through all of them, but the highlights is that there are more hearings per month, so that we can bring folks in quicker and resolve these issues quicker. And then you can read the rest of the stuff. And then we've done events. Earth Day, citywide cleanups in 2018. Those were led. I got to say also, I don't know if he's here. Is he here? Francisco's, I don't want to even try to take any credit for this, but all of the stuff that you all see when you go out to see these events, it's risky. It's really Francisco who's put them all together. You know, he puts it together, goes out and works with the community. So none of this stuff would be able to be done without him. But this Earth Day, he organized that. Green Awareness Fair. More photos. These are the Painted Proud project. This is the last project that we did. This is the before picture of this home. I actually didn't get to meet the gentleman. I went out there, but he was visiting his 90-something-year-old wife at the home. But I did get to see it on TV, and he was very happy. And this is what it looks like afterwards with the help of our vendors. This was the first project. This is the other one. This was in Councilman Desome's district. And this is afterwards with the landscaping and the painting project done on that one. So we've been branding. We've been working on the branding. We actually had a meeting last year. It was open to the community to talk about the branding. How do we do this? And you know, it still has room for improvement. It still has room to be tweaked. But we wanted to roll it out, show it as a concept, and then move on once everyone saw it. So you've already seen some of the branding. There's materials outside, and we'll continue to work on that. So what's next? What's next is the Chapter 21 rewrite. Crystal's going to get done with her outreach, but we really need to come back with that to get, you know, again, we're working on the carrot, but we still need the stick for those, you know, really offensive offenders. The Clean City teams. So the idea of the Clean City teams, I'm going to delve into this just a little bit. So it really came in two concepts, or two things. There was a Clean City team that was envisioned to be like the quick reaction force, and that's the folks that we have right now. We had another, we envisioned there'd be another team to work downtown, and that was the block by block. That didn't pass through the CRA. We're gonna try to work on that, maybe come up with another concept, but there is a need for a Clean City team to maintain our downtown. And one of the things I ask everyone to go, just take a look. And I know you can drive by and say, oh, it looks fine, but take a real good close look. We've done a wonderful thing in this city by passing the integrated pest management program. But one of the things that we talked about with integrated pest management was that we would have weeds, and we wouldn't be using pesticides to pick them up. So right now, weeds, trash, some of that is picked up by vendors when they come and mow the lawn. But in areas for where there's a lamppost, for example, and there's weeds growing out of it, there really is no one to pick that stuff up. The other thing I want to point out is that in our downtown area, we spent millions of dollars in putting down these tiles, these white tiles. You know, I go down to Coral Gables. Coral Gables has mimicked some of what we've done with their downtown. But someone needs to maintain that. And I know everyone thinks that someone's maintaining it, but there really isn't. The biggest component for keeping the city clean right now is the Clean City team, the 12 people that we have. So that's something I think you all need to talk about and work on coming up with something for the downtown area. Tonight, we're going to ask you to establish the North Miami Unsafe Structures Board. As we mentioned last year, we said we would take a year and come back to that, back to you with that. What the Unsafe Structures Board, having an Unsafe Structures Board here in the city will do, it will make the process a lot simpler and easier So when we have a home with a hole in the roof, to deal with those, rather than having the building director first go to our special magistrate and then go down to the county and hope someone down in the county allows us to declare the property unsafe. So we'll have our own unsafe structures board here, and you'll be voting on that tonight. We have an April 27th Earth Day event. Community outreach and education, I'm going to leave that for Circle of One when they come up and do their little piece. But one of the things I'm recommending is that, or that we're recommending, is that the city do some sort of trash and litter study to determine what is the levels of cleanliness that we want in the city, and what is the level of staffing that we need to address this, right? So I'm not an expert on this. I don't know anything about cleaning. This is something I took on, but me personally, you know, as immediately when I heard that we only have one street sweeper, I thought that's probably not enough. So let's get 2 street sweepers. What's the actual level of street sweepers do we need in order to keep the streets clean? I don't know. We probably need some expert to come in and talk to us and deal with that. Maybe do some charrettes so people get a real idea of what is it, where's the trash coming from? Is it coming from the schools? Is it coming from when, bulk pickup and stuff is getting blown all over? Let's figure that out so that we can actually address those things. And that should be the end of it. I'm going to play one thing and ask Circle of One to come up. This is part, how do I get this to play? Oh, yeah, here it goes. All right. Do we have volume?
Is North Miami's Force for Clean, and we're committed to maintaining an excellent quality of life that we can all be proud of. With your help, the Clean City Task Force is cleaning up our parks, getting rid of abandoned shopping carts, and fixing houses in disrepair. We clean areas where litter and garbage should never be found. We can all be agents of clean, making the city of North Miami a better place to live, work, and play together. North Miami, you said something.
We did something!
I'm going to turn it over now to Suzanne and her team from Circle of One Marketing. Like I said, a lot of the work that we've done in terms of coming up with logos, materials, this video, they all worked with us. I've known Suzanne for many years, and so when I started doing this, I asked her to come along and help. We haven't paid her enough at all. So next meeting, we're going to actually ask you to bring them in as the marketing team to help us along with this stuff. A lot of this stuff has been work that I'd say is almost pro bono. But anyway, I'm going to turn this over to Suzanne. Thank you.
Well, good evening. We want to thank our Honorable Mayor Smith and members of the council and city manager. Thank you so much for having us tonight. My name is Neftali, and I am the project manager for the Clean City Task Force concept. And I want to present to you Richard McCulloch for VP of Branding for Circle of One Marketing.
You can use that mic.
Thank you so much. Thank you, council, and everyone here today. Wonderful residents that are in attendance. Just wanted to briefly talk a little bit about what we thought about in terms of coming up with supporting the Clean City Initiative, which of course is a continuation of the Keep North Miami Beautiful initiative. We wanted to establish 4 important pillars of concentration. The first one being awareness. As the city attorney just showed you that there were things that were going on, but one of the things that was very apparent was that some of the constituents as well as people that work within the city may not have known of all the wonderful things that were going on in terms of this Clean City Initiative. So awareness was one of our primary goals by utilizing digital platforms and making sure that we were spreading the word and getting people involved through the utilization of marketing techniques. We also wanted to have a pillar of education. Educating the public as to why the Clean City Task Force was important was a very key part of this initiative, because once we could share some facts that were very important in terms of keeping the city clean, it made more sense to some people. For example, one of the questions is some people don't know what a swale is and what are the boundaries of a swale, who's responsible for it. By making sure that we're constantly giving out that information to the public, we're getting them more aware and intelligent as to some of the issues that go on a regular basis in terms of keeping the city clean. Then we want to go to advocacy, and you saw an example of that today in terms of advocating for people who are going to become agents of clean, such as the wonderful people who donated their time and resources to the Painted Proud and the different city events. We want to advocate for anyone that's in the community that is helping keep North Miami beautiful and clean. And the last pillar, activism. We did not want this to be a silo of the municipality trying to clean the entire city. We wanted to enlist the entire community as part of this initiative through the Clean City Task Force and through all these wonderful events, so that we weren't just having people that were waiting for the city. We wanted everyone to get involved so that there would be a community-wide investment. And as you can see by the Painted Proud events and all the other events, the city has responded, and we're very happy to see that continue on. So those were the 4 pillars that we had to use as the concept, and we thought were going to make sense in terms of moving this campaign forward. And so now it's my pleasure to introduce to you the CEO of Circle of One Marketing, Suzanne McDowell.
Hi, my name is Suzanne McDowell. I'm the president and CEO of Circle of One Marketing, and I wanted to bring greetings from Circle of One to Dr. Smith Joseph and the entire City Council. Thank you for having us. I'm just briefly going to go over a quick PowerPoint so that you guys will know what I'm doing. I'm going to scoot over there, though. Okay, the Clean City Task Force represents our citizens, government officials, and those who care about the city of North Miami. That's basically our constituents. Can you go? Yeah. No. I need you to do it. It's the next slide. Okay, so what we did is we created this brand, this beautiful Clean City Task Force logo. At the top, there is the City of North Miami's sun. These are the official colors. This is how you use the logo and how you don't use the logo. This is what's called a branding guide. The other things that we have done is this email blast. It's called the Clean City Chronicle, and it goes out to North Miami residents that are on the distribution list. Back. Also, the social media content. This is What is Litter and that young man with the bottle. Those are the things that we've been pushing out on social media. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to introduce the rest of my team. My bad. This is LaShannon Petit, and LaShannon is social media. And this is Peyton Kulagowski, who is our graphic designer, who came up with this entire branding campaign. Okay. We have some take-home items that you guys should have gotten in your packages, and that is a Clean City towel, a Clean City sticker, and Clean City T-shirts that we have used to brand the Clean City Task Force.
Everybody got one but me.
Oh,
I didn't get one.
We have yours.
we do.
No, you got 2.
Where is it? Why doesn't he have it?
Oh, there we
We have yours. Okay.
Double X. Okay. I need a small. You know, I'm petite, you know.
Okay, we've created a brochure. We've created a envelope that can go out to your utilities. Next. We've created bus benches and signage for outside of for the outside of a clean house that's been cleaned up. We have a retractable banner, a showmobile, and a step and repeat. These are all the things that we have created. A cleaner Nomi is a better Nomi is also one of the taglines. That's it. We also created for the kids characters, agents of clean. As you can see right there, they are 3 amazing characters, and we put them on T-shirts, and we also have coloring books for the kids so that they can get involved with becoming an agent of clean. Go ahead. We saw something, we did something, as you guys can see, that was in the commercial that we did. We wanted to make sure that the community knew after the outcry for making a cleaner city that the Clean City Task Force is actually doing something.
So this whole effort has been brought to you by Keep North Miami Beautiful, Drive It Home, and City of North Miami. The hub, the media outlets? Oh, is it? Got it. We have also received some really good press on Channel 6, Channel 4, and Channel 7. We received all, as a matter of fact, Channel 10 actually came as well. They had a helicopter on top of our event trying to get footage. So we got all 4 TV cameras out there for the Paint It Proud, and Cassandra did a wonderful job with representing the city. And if you want to see those clips, we can show them to you. So that's it. Short presentation. And, oh, there's the screenshots of SVN. So that's it. That's all I have. Does anybody have any questions?
Can they call you if there's an area that has a dump area? How do they call you to come in?
There is, there's a Clean City team, and there's also, you can also call the city as well and report. There's also a very fabulous app that you can report light on the app as well.
And we are also in the process of working with the IT division here that we're going to be putting a capture page on the website so that you can go directly to the website and it'll be interactive. You can make use the website portal.
That's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Good job. Great job. Thank you very much, Mr. Attorney. Kudos to you too for the wonderful work that you've been doing with this task force. At this time, we want to move the consent agenda without C and E, right?
So moved.
Second?
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the consent agenda
C and E.
with the exception of tab C and tab E. That motion was seconded by Mayor Smith Joseph. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes with a 5-0 vote. Tab C, proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, approving the selection of professional consultants for the provision of agricultural and engineering related services on a continuing contract basis with the city of North Miami pursuant to request for qualifications number 08-17-18, continuing architectural and engineering services, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Go ahead.
All right, good evening. Good evening, council members. Alberto Estrade, Purchasing Director. The item that you have before you under tab C is staff's request for your approval of the list of pre-qualified firms which were selected and recommended by evaluation committees in response to request for qualifications 8-17-18 for continuing architectural and engineering consulting services under CCNA for an initial 1-year term and 3 additional options to renew. As reflected in the council report, our office issued RFQ 08-17-18 requesting proposals from qualified and experienced firms in order to establish a pool of pre-qualified consultants which are able to provide the city with the necessary services governed under CCNA on an ongoing basis. The solicitation requested proposals for 8 different categories, and the categories were architecture, including interior design, landscape architecture, urban planning and design, environmental engineering, transportation traffic engineering, water resources, stormwater design and wastewater engineering, geotechnical material testing, and mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. Each firm was permitted to submit proposals for multiple categories. However, they could only apply for one of $2 thresholds within each category. The $2 thresholds were either $0 to $249,999 or $250,000 to $2 million in project cost. These thresholds were established for the purpose of affording an opportunity for smaller firms to do business with the city. In response to the solicitation, the city received proposals from 54 different firms. The proposals were then submitted for review by 8 different evaluation committees, 1 for each category, consisting of appropriate representatives from various city departments. As a result, each committee has ranked the proposals for each category and selected a short list of firms which are recommended for approval by this council. Attached to the council report is a list of each category. And I'll just briefly summarize. For the category of architecture, in the category of 0 to 249,99,000.
Yeah, but this is CRA.
Okay. All right. Well, for the category of architecture, in the lower threshold, you have 1 firm. In the higher threshold, you have 10 firms. For landscape architecture, in the lower threshold, you have 4 firms. In the higher category, you have 5 firms that are recommended. Urban planning and design, you have 4 firms in the lower threshold. In the higher threshold, you have the top 3 firms. And again, these are what's recommended by the evaluation committee members. In the category of environmental engineering, you have 2 firms that are recommended in the lower threshold. In the higher threshold, you have 5 firms that are recommended. In the transportation and traffic engineering category, you have 3 firms that are recommended in the lower threshold, and in the higher threshold, you have 6 firms that are recommended by the committee. Water resources and stormwater design and wastewater engineering, you have 3 firms that are recommended in the lower threshold, and you have 10 firms that are recommended in the higher threshold. Geotechnical material testing, you have 2 firms that are recommended in the lower threshold and 3 firms recommended in the higher threshold. And last but not least, in mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, you have 1 firm that's recommended in the lower threshold and 3 firms recommended in the higher threshold. Once approved by this council, staff will then be used to use this pre-qualified pool of consultants to assign work on an as-needed basis. The scope of work and fees that are negotiated by staff for any project assigned under this list shall then be submitted for award by either the city council or the city manager, depending on the dollar amount of the award in accordance with the city's procurement code. This concludes my presentation of the item, and if you have any questions, I'll be glad to take them.
I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of questions on the days on this item. That's probably why it's out of the consent. That being said, I would, open it to the public for anyone. Thank you. I would open it to the public for anyone who wishes to be heard. If there are ideas, questions, concerns whatsoever on item tab C as in cat that you just went over. See none, hear none, so public hearing is thereby closed. Tab C à seulement, oui.
Tab C, vous entendez, c'est tab C à seulement, oui. Et pour ça, venir, tab C. OK, pas de problème. Talk to her, tell her she has to wait after.
Anyone wants to be heard from the public? No? Public hearing is closed. Days, members
Yes.
on the...
Once you're done.
Just a quick question. Why were, most of these meetings with these, a lot of work was done. Good job, and they look good. Why were all the meetings done almost a year ago? 6 months to a year ago?
Well,
why is
Councilwoman
it-
Keys,
yeah.
as you can see, there were 8 different evaluation committees that were assembled, and there were different committees. The committees were really assigned from staff and structured and tailored for each one of these categories. So quite simply, there was a lot of coordination that was needed to be able to assemble these committees and,
a lot of
and
work,
go
yeah.
through the process, right?
Yeah, let it go. That's fine. I have are you done, Councilwoman? I have a couple of questions regarding the item. I don't know if you guys could hear me. I'm not too comfortable with the concept of, I know the pool concept, and I've been involved with the Children's Trust. They have the same concept in other companies that does it, but as a municipality, my concern is always for small business and business with because I saw the category of 0 to 200, I believe. There's some cases it's only one person. So you need to tell me that this will be the only person that would be qualified to do business at that time. Because, first of all, how long is this valid for? A 1 year?
It's valid for 1 year, and it has 3 additional renewals.
Okay, that's already a problem for me because if somebody just moved here or someone has a little small business, they frankly they out of it because of this concept. And I understand some of these are the only companies that could be qualified to do this type of work because of the nature of the work. But if you stand for small business doing something, this not really pending out too well if you did not make it in this pool. So that's my concern. I understand the concept. It's probably easier if we have a pool. Things get done faster. I'm assuming that would be the logic behind it.
That's a portion of it. There's also state statute that requires us to follow this process.
Okay.
The other thing, and I want to address one of your concerns, the reason why.
So wait, let me ask you something, Mr. Manager. So the state says we have to do it like this, Mr. Estrada?
Yes, actually, I'll just answer this one. Florida Statute 287.055, acquisition of professional architectural, engineering, landscape, architectural, or surveying and mapping services basically requires all municipalities that go through this process if they're going to use
the process of the pool?
Yes.
Okay. That does not mean that
Well,
really
this
helped
is
me
not
out.
new, is it? Is this a new?
No.
This is being
yes, Mr. Mayor,
renewed.
Actually, what this list would do is it would effectively replace the existing
old one
list.
that been there
The
forever.
existing list that we had before that was awarded by this council back in 2015. So this is really a replacement. And if I may, Councilman.
Okay, my concern, I understand this is new, but my concern is still my concern. How does a small business benefit from this?
So
they don't.
They don't. Okay.
Well, I wouldn't say they don't. What we did, and it kind of dovetails into what Councilwoman Key said. The reason why we took a long time, I myself personally, I know the staff, we went through great pains to try to get as many participants and businesses in it. The other change from the previous list to now, you see that we bifurcated project sizes, so we could have an entire category just for small businesses to be able to be on the list. So we made the effort. I understand this piece of legislation it's a lot to take in. It took the staff a long time to get it. There were hundreds of bids that came in, and if the board, if you want to talk a little bit more about the process, we're willing to do that. But we just wanted to kind of get the process moving.
There was more businesses who applied who just did not meet the threshold.
Or they didn't. Their scoring did not meet the qualifications. Yes, but we did. I would.
Do
tell
we
you
have
that
those businesses, or is just only the one that were selected that are here? Is everything here?
Well, you pretty much you have all of the applicants. Pretty much they're there, Councilman.
What does
Gasoli.
pretty much mean?
If I may, just when we created these categories, were specifically to address your concern and the concern of this council, which in the past has indicated, its a desire to attract more businesses for local businesses. So by creating the threshold for smaller projects, the intent was to have these small businesses being able not to compete with the larger companies. Most of the larger companies applied for the higher threshold. And that's why we did not allow for a company to apply for both of the thresholds. But it was entirely up to that local business or that small business to apply for the lower threshold. It was simply a matter of their business decision, if you will. Am I going to apply for the lower threshold being project size, or am I going to compete with the larger firms for the larger threshold projects? And by the way, I should add that we had 18 NWB firms that responded, and throughout various categories, all 18 of the firms are included and are selected on the approved list of consultants.
Thank you.
Any other question? Now, Mr. Manager, as I told you in our 2 meetings, I mean, this is a very comprehensive project and work that you guys have done, and I applaud you for that. The only beef that I have with this item is the fact, yes, it is a lot of information, it is a lot of work, but I don't know, in the state statute, does it preclude periodic discussion or periodic presentation to the people who are ultimately going to vote? I feel very, very uncomfortable voting on items without really getting it, without getting a detail of what really happened. The ones who were caught off because of this, because of that. And the one who actually made it, they made it because they look like LeBron or Wade or whatever. I just don't get the whole gist of it.
So we provided we provided in the packet support the scoring sheets for each of the categories, and I know you asked in our briefing about receiving all of the actual bid documents themselves. We can provide that. It's just it's a lot.
Yeah, I know.
It's boxes worth of solicitations. So if it is your pleasure.
And this is all of this work for 1 year.
Well,
I would think it would make more sense for like 3-5 years.
Well, you do have the.
So which means you got to start this year again for next year.
Well, no, you have a 1-year term with 3 1-year renewals.
Oh, 3
so
1-year
it could
renewal.
be for 4. The intent, if you will, is for 4 years. We just have to renew it every year, and it also gives us the flexibility, I think, which addresses one of Councilman DeSume's concerns. What if we get an influx tomorrow of a bunch of new engineering companies in the city? If that were to happen and we started to hear that feedback, we could do another solicitation.
Then there is provision for that in the.
Yeah, we would just do another, and the time renewals we have would allow for us to do that. So, but this is the appropriate place for the discussion. That's why I wanted to get it in front of you.
The date is still open. If there is any questions or concerns.
What I was gonna say, Mr. Mayor, since I came here in 2013, that's what I've been trying to do, is to update that CCNA list, and I've been asking the city administration to put out a new, so we can get new companies, new developers on board. And I want to thank you for taking in consideration my recommendation, because before we used to have 25, 30 companies, but the first 10 almost are the big companies who get everything. When I asked you to change it to do different categories, like from $0 to $250,000, so those small companies can apply for it, and for $2 million you can get those big companies, and I think that's helped the small businesses, because before all the contract was rewarded by those big firms that can afford anything you ask them, they will be able to provide that, versus those small businesses. That's mean, I think it's better than what we had before. I'm not gonna say it's perfect, but if you're looking at what you had before, it's way better that we have different categories for small businesses and big businesses.
Can I say something? Councilman, I think the intent is good, and because I could see my concern as someone who's a small business advocate is, if this is the way it is, and I guess that's the law. So were we breaking the law prior to that? If this is the law now, we just doing it now?
No, what I was saying, I did not
did
say,
it?
yeah. At any time, you always can change that.
You could, okay.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to do in order to help those small businesses. That was my intent
And that's
in
my
the previous one.
And my concern would be, and I'm in the same line with you, Councilman, to help the small business. But you have some category, it's only one business, like right now, that's qualified, that met the qualification. But I don't know if there's others who had applied, or what was the circumstance why they didn't. So I'm only now being presented, this is what you have to vote on. And that's just my little concern, because right now, if it's one business under that category, obviously there's no opportunity for anyone else. And that's just my little concern with it. Not necessarily the process. I think you guys worked hard, because you explained part of this to me during briefing. And my concern again was the other businesses that was on the list. Who are they? You know, this and this and that. Are they? You know, so that's just my little not feeling too good and echoing what the mayor was saying, because I don't know how the opportunity will show for a small business, and it may have been some other businesses that was on the list who did not make the cut. Like, I don't know who didn't make the cut. I'm assuming they didn't meet the guideline. So, okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, we discussed this in the briefing, and we did do an RFQ. And I think at some point the city has to, you know, close the bidding and say, let's get on with it. We need our pool of contractors. So we've done the RFQ. I don't know if there's something we can do that they can apply in a year, but you just can't keep it open. If you are a business person and you want to do business with the city, then you know you better be watching their RFQ process. There's bids. It's posted. What is the name of that?
Demand Star.
What star?
Demand
Star. I mean, if they're that good, they're that professional, they know to be watching. So that's the RFQ. I asked about, you know, seeing the complete package and all the applications from everybody, but there's hundreds. Realistically, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. That's what we have staff for. I'm not going to go back and look at hundreds. It would be nice if I could and had the time, but I don't. So I'm going to have to rely on staff.
But another something I want to say, at any time doing an RFP, we can decide to put it out and acquire new companies. That's when we just stick to
We can do
from
that?
list. Yeah, we don't
I mean,
have to.
we have options to renew it.
Yeah,
That's our option, not the
if we had
contractor's
an
option.
emergency for a project, we always can pick from that, but we not stick to it that this is where we got to go.
I think if we've got people coming, if we have enough people coming to us in one category and saying, well, gee, we'd like to apply, we can open it back up.
Yeah.
And again, it's only for a year with options to renew, so we don't have to go through this process every year. So.
Understood.
The CCNA, another question, Mr. Mayor. The CCNA is for project under $2 million, right?
Correct.
Yes.
So if it's over, then we would
We have to open an RFP.
That's correct.
If it's over, we'd have to go out for bid individually.